you had your first start of the season against Gotham. I was wondering if you could just talk about recovering from that injury during the Challenge Cup and how you felt in that match.
Yeah. Yeah, the injury was annoying, but honestly, not a bad time. It never is fun, but I feel like if it was going to happen at any point during the season, that was the time to do it. Yeah, coming back, I think I was a little bit nervous. You know, you never go that long without playing soccer, but it ended up being fine. I felt good, and I'm excited for this weekend.
All right, next we will go to Tyler Tatchman of the Oregonian.
Hey, Emily, I was just wondering what the kind of biggest obstacle for you has been as you've gotten back into games and trying to get into the flow of the schedule.
Biggest obstacle. For me specifically with the injury was staying fit. But I think for everybody else, we had a bunch of games right in a row coming off the Challenge Cup. And I think managing playing time, kind of sharing playing time so players could get the rest that they needed, communication between players and coach, that was huge. Like not being scared to say if you needed a rest, you needed to come out of a game, just to be 100% for the next game. So I think that was key. Yeah, not many challenges, smooth sailing.
All right, next we will go to Melina Gaspar of Football Ace.
Hey, Emily, nice to see you. So can you give me some thoughts on the performance of the defense so far, and also on the performance of Natalia Quica, and what would you say she has brought to the team? Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, was the question the performance of the team and Natu, correct? Defense. Yeah,
Correct.
I think, yeah, I am really happy with our defense. I think similar to last year, you can see that we have so many different people who can pop in and pop out, and it is a pretty seamless transition. We are all on the same page. That goes back to like just us knowing our tactics and us kind of having a culture that we stick to. We train as a fullback unit, which like 10 of us or something. So when a player pops in, they know exactly what they have to do. So yeah, that rotation is not as troubling as people might think, knowing that like you don't normally sub a back line. For us, it's a pretty smooth transition. We all play with each other in and out every day. So that's great. Yeah, I hope we can continue this streak of shutouts. It'd be great. That's the goal. Natu, I think, has brought a lot to the team. She was, I think in the beginning, she was trying to kind of find her place. Immediately, one of the first things she said to me was like, oh my God, like they coach so much. And so I think she was just in the beginning, just trying to take in so much information. And I think Crystal too, like the players who were not here last year, it's kind of a lot to catch up with. It's a lot of information, but now she has found her spot. She is a very good player. She's a very good defender. And like I was saying, she can pop into the back line very seamlessly, and hope she continues to grow.
All right, we'll go back to Tyler Tatchman of the Oregonian.
Emily, you mentioned this last little stretch that you guys have had with the 3 games in 7 days. To someone that hasn't played a stretch of soccer like that, how difficult is that physically to deal with?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. It's nothing none of us have not done before. That was a lot of negatives. We've all done that before. We've all been there where we had to kind of rally for 3 games in 7 days. I think it's hard physically. I think it's equally as hard mentally. But like I said before, just the communication with Mark and the coaching staff, like what exactly we needed, when we needed a rest, when we needed an easier day at training, has been great. And they are very responsive to that. And they're almost more conservative than we want them to be sometimes with keeping us out of training. So yeah, I think it's good. We've done it before and we'll have to do it again, and we'll deal with it.
All right, do we have any more questions for Emily while she's here? Okay, we will go to Caitlin Best.
Hi, Emily. Unsoccer related question. I'm just wondering if you're reading any good books right now.
I'm reading the first ever Sherlock Holmes book, which I didn't realize was the first Sherlock Holmes book. So yeah, it's pretty good.
And one last question to Tyler Tatchman.
It was yesterday, I think, that it was announced it'll be 80% capacity starting later in June. What was kind of your initial reaction to hearing about that?
Excitement. I think it's something we've been waiting for, obviously safely. Yeah, I think any progression of fans is awesome. It's a huge advantage for us playing at home with our fans. We can't wait for it to be 100, but yeah, 80 is great. A great step forward.